Yeah, absolutely. I think we can actually get back to pre-COVID, but be safer.
Hello, insiders. This is Lori with the story. Just want to say a big thanks to our sponsors of the Inside Story Hunters podcast. Thank you, Tiffany of CNR Services, Quick Cuts Media, Michael Valletta, and all that you do for us, Wasco Masonry, and all those that have walked alongside us to help bring Inside Story Hunters podcast alive. Looking forward to meeting some of our future sponsors. Just thank you to all. And thanks to my team. Inside Story Hunters is getting ready to launch another episode. Just hit that button below and subscribe. All the details of the next episode of our guest is waiting for you. Thanks for listening and watching. This is Lori with the story, back here at the Russell on Russell Street, Nashville, the incredible creative space that also supports an amazing nonprofit organization that was built for those underprivileged and challenged folks that have fallen on hard times and are homeless. And the Russell gives back a major portion of the folks who come to Nashville to stay and visit, do business, or for pleasure as a tourist. And the creative space is open to the public and podcasters like me. I'm sitting inside their podcast room, getting ready to capture a bit of the inside story of Matt Martin, the owner of BluCities Environmental and Health Services. He was providing odor removal and all kinds of environmental services with his products and services even before COVID-19 became a household conversation and the pandemic. The products and services, Matt's going to elaborate and go into it, but it is literally a game changer that today the Inside Story Hunters is going to help put a voice to. School environments, corporations using these products that you could actually drink, safe enough to drink. A child could drink, yet they have the power to kill and disinfect things as life-threatening as COVID-19. So I hope you'll enjoy this episode. Stay with us. Matt Martin is an incredible human being and just really a guy who's fun, humble, and is out there impacting nationwide all kinds of environments that's enabling us to be safe and healthy, and we want to help put a voice to it. So hang on, and here we go. Well, hello, insiders. This is Lori with the story here today with Matt Martin of BluCities Environmental and Health Services. So let's get started. Matt, let's unveil that powerful inside story. I've known you for years. We've been friends first, but I have watched your story blossom, your inside story blossom. So go for it, because today I'm going to make sure that you don't tell it from a humble position, that you brag on yourself and do it well.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, we have known each other for quite some time now. And first of all, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my honor.
I enjoy this opportunity. Started years ago with a company that I invested a little bit of money in as a franchise called Clean Beyond. And this is just what it was. It was a cleaning company. And what I learned was, and this is long before COVID, is that really what people are looking for is not just a cleaning company, but what they're looking for is a way to make sure that their environment, whether it be their home or business or car, a safe place, meaning it's disinfected.
Yes.
And so it's one thing to clean something and wipe a counter down or wipe your refrigerator handle off and think that you've done something useful, but it's not disinfected. And one of my pet peeves is kind of watching somebody grab a wipey, if you will, at a grocery store and wipe the handle off, and I call it the placebo effect. It makes you feel good, but you've not done anything to disinfect that handle. So what I did was I started my own company, and because I saw the direction. This is 4.5 years ago. And I focused the direction of the company on being a disinfecting company where, we took control and showed people that things can be done differently. And the cool part is because I'm not a big company, I own the company. We're not a big company. We do some really neat things, but because I'm not a giant company, I'm not forced to use products that I don't want to use.
Right. But you are nationwide. We're going to get to that. But, you describe it as a small company, but the clients and where you are, the footprint, the people are in all kinds of places in the U.S. providing services with your products.
Yes.
So,
and I'm thrilled about that. It's been a fun journey, but as any business owner knows, it's been a lot of tears and heartache. But that's part of the journey. So, BluCities Environmental and Health Services when we launched the business 4.5 years ago, it was with the focus of being very, very helpful with some really amazing products that are really safe and do great things for the community. And I can go on and on about that, but there's so many things I want to talk to you about, but that's how I got BluCities started. I broke away from a company called Clean Beyond. They're a great company.
But you saw a different way to do it.
Yes.
And I also, not to bring up the pain points, but the inside story is what you were discussing. I remember when you were telling me, I don't even know how I'm going to pay the rent.
Yes.
I got a daughter who's going to college. Our kids are almost the same ages. Mm-hmm. It was, you were convinced and passionate that you had something and you needed to do it in a different way, yet it was potentially jeopardizing your ability to just pay the basic bills.
Yes. Yeah, and something really neat happened there is, I'm a man of faith. I am 100% a believer, and I'm not shy to tell you that I hit my knees and asked the Lord to help me. And I am not kidding you when I tell you 2 days later I got a call from a national account. And how does those things happen? Well, your belief, you have to believe that what you're doing is right.
Yes.
And so we did a job for this national account. They came back a week later and said, we love it. We're flying some people in from our home office in Denver to Nashville. We want them to see it. Will you meet them there to talk about what you're doing? Yes, we'll do that. And so I'm going through this process with them, and at the end of it, they look at me and said, would you grow with us?
And you said no.
Yeah. So
you're like, wait, you want me to grow my company? You want me to save lives and improve, the environments in schools, corporations, and so forth. So
right. And so next thing I know, we expanded into Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Denver, Atlanta, and we're soon to be expanding into some new cities. We're pretty excited about it. But again, we offer some things that some other companies just aren't willing to do.
Well,
and
let's go there.
Fun.
Let's talk about, let's talk stats. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk about the school systems. This is the part that every time I think about kids and the hand sanitizers, I think of you, Matt. Tell that story about how much has been spent to provide hand sanitizer products for teachers and students.
So the number I have received this is the state of Tennessee, is $88 million that they spent on hand sanitizers for schools last year. And so that's that product that they use. If you look at the back of the label, and I'm not saying anything negative about the product, because you can clearly, anybody can pick up the back of the bottle and read it. Yeah. It says flammable, keep away from open flames. That's kind of a red flag. Children under the age of 6 needs to be supervised when using this product. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth after using this product. And I watch people bathe in it everywhere they go.
Yes.
And there's an amazing solution out there called electrolyzed water, or HOCL. And we've been sharing it with people all across the country. And HOCL, or hypochlorous acid, and we like to call it electrolyzed water, and here's why. Electrolyzed water is 99.5% water, 0.05% hypochlorous acid. Well, hypochlorous acid is naturally made in your body through your white blood cells. What's its purpose? Well, its purpose is to fight off diseases in your body.
COVID-19.
Yes. So what we like to say is, all we've done is taken what Mother Nature has perfected and duplicated it. which is pretty cool.
And is it not safe enough that a 6-year-old, could touch it in there and grab it and drink it or do something with it?
It's 80 to 200 times stronger than bleach. Kills COVID in 4 seconds. Kills encapsulated or enveloped and non-enveloped viruses. It's EPA, FDA approved, of course. And some of the things that it does is, well, I'll give you an example. I can share hundreds of examples with you. But one example that's very close to home is we've partnered with a COVID testing company here in Nashville. And at the height of COVID, this is going on through the past 2 years, right? So this is pretty impressive when you think about this. So the way their employees work is once they've tested somebody and whether it's a positive reading or not, when that person leaves their office, they take out a little fogger, little electrostatic fogger. They fog the area down, all the touchable surfaces. They fog the doors down, and here's the cool part: they fog each other down. So they stand there with their arms open. They fog each other down. They open up their eyes. They fog the face down. Open up their mouth. Fog the entire face with the mouth open. And not one employee has caught COVID while working there.
This is unbelievable. Think about the clinics we're exposing our frontline people, nurses, doctors, the receptionists at these walk-in clinics, that with this product, they're safe every single time they're being exposed.
Absolutely.
And we're fearing for the frontline workers won't even come back to work. I saw stats that there's something like X amount of million men have come back to the workforce since COVID and our quarantines and pandemics, but 39,000 women have returned to work. And so that means a huge workforce. Women are no longer present or coming out to work because they don't want to be a nurse. They don't want to risk being exposed to their family. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to steal your thunder, but it riles me up knowing that you have these products and your company is keeping the frontline workers safe and able to help take care of us.
An example would be, I talk to anybody ever listen to me, I'm happy to talk to them about how we can help their business. So I'm talking to the regional manager of a hair salon. They're a national hair salon. She's a regional manager. And she said, we can't get new employees because they're so fearful of coming back to work for COVID. I said, well, let's sit down and talk about some real solutions that you control. That's the key to this, is that you control these solutions now. You're not calling up somebody when there's another outbreak, and there's going to be another outbreak, whether it's 2 years, 4 years, or 6 years from now, it's going to happen. And now instead of you calling up somebody, you have the solution in hand.
And how much money? Let's go back to the schools. $88 million, hand sanitizers. It's not safe. It's got all these warnings, right? How much money would the schools have saved? I mean, and you have saved school systems and working with different ones.
Yes.
But what would those numbers look like? And where would those dollars be free to go if we weren't buying hand sanitizers? Go back to that.
Okay, great. Thank you. So once the unit is installed, and all we need is water and electricity and a drain. So once that unit is installed, you on demand, you make as much electrolyzed water as you want to make. Just push a button, you're going to make it. You also make an all-purpose cleaner and a glass cleaner, and you also make a heavy-duty cleaner and a degreaser. So for school systems, that's completely out of their budget now. So not only did they get rid of their hand sanitizer, now they've gotten rid of their glass cleaner and their all-purpose cleaner. Now they've gotten rid of their degreasers that they have to buy. And the amount of money that we can save a school, we can typically get their ROI back within the next 30 to 60 days.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Which means more money for teachers, school supplies.
Yes.
Whatever it is, right?
And so even with schools, what we'll tell, this is pretty exciting to always share this message, and that is with schools, listen, it's always fundraising, right?
Yes.
Always. And so
Yes.
I have a daughter that's in band. I had a daughter that was in volleyball. And I love helping schools fundraise, but man, it's every day.
That's right. $50 for a pencil,
Yes, that's right. But bring 50 of them.
Yeah.
So with schools, once they install this unit, the glass cleaner and the heavy-duty degreaser, the school can private label, and they can turn around and sell it. So now this is an opportunity for a school to be able to say, we can fundraise with this, because the glass cleaner, once you install the system, costs them about 10 cents a gallon.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're saving money, helping them not put in the wrong products. That's not helping, reduce the COVID-19 or other bacteria. Before COVID-19, it's the flu and whatever else that we're being exposed to. How about the child care centers? People, the family member who can't go to work for extended periods of time because their kids are not going to the child care center or school and so forth.
That's right. And with this being hypochlorous acid or electrolyzed water, it's not an ammonia solution. It's not a bleach solution. So this is a product that is 100% completely safe to use. And so with schools, daycares, you could literally, if you can spray with kids in the room if you had to. But let's say it's a daycare and the kids are out on the playground. You could literally fog that classroom, everything in it, play toys, whatever it might be, and sanitize or disinfect that classroom literally within a minute.
Wow.
And so we've worked with some assisted care centers. We're very proud of the work we've done with them. We were part of the national COVID study for the state of Tennessee.
Wow.
They used our product to disinfect in between their patients. We're very proud of that. That's on our webpage.
Where can we reach you?
At of course, BluCities. It's BluCities, no E in blue. So BluCities.com. But there's some really, really cool opportunities out there to save people, whether it's a school system, whether it's retail, whether it's the restaurant industry, daycares. I look at property managers like at Cushman Wakefield's, Lincoln Properties, all the money that they're spending, and I'm like, why?
Right.
Why are you spending this money? And so going back to schools, we can show a school very, very quickly how much money that they can be saving and spending that money on other things.
Yes.
So schools to me are low-hanging fruit, but and we've had some great outreach with schools, private schools also. And another really cool story is Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where the Falcons play. They have purchased 4 of the units, and it used to take them a long time to disinfect that stadium. What they've done is, on their own initiative, is they've taken drone technology, and they have 2-gallon tanks on their drones, and they've cut their labor costs to disinfect that stadium by 90%.
Unbelievable. Let alone the time, and they're keeping it safe.
Very safe.
And I would have never thought about that. We need to get back to some kind of normalcy. We'll never have it be, pre-COVID the same way.
Right.
But we are enhancing it. Like anything else, we're growing, we're becoming innovative, we're creating new jobs and opportunities.
And I think we can actually get back to pre-COVID, but be safer.
Smart.
We actually be safer. We could.
I like that you said that.
Absolutely.
How about going to a public restroom? I never wanted to go. I know this is ridiculous, but it's true. I'm always on the road now, going to capture a story and going to a convenience store, and you walk into a public bathroom and it's clean and sanitized, and these environments that we were so neglectful and we just literally dismissed and just accepted that these things were okay.
Yes.
And now we're taking better care of ourselves because we've been forced to.
Yes, and so, with restaurants, I look at restaurants and it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I watch a table get cleared, and then somebody's going to come along and spray something on the table, which is usually a bleach-based solution, which you really don't want to be smelling that anyway. And how much of that now is drifted over to you? If you can smell it, it's drifted over to you. Mm-hmm. And then they immediately start wiping the table down, which means it's giving it absolutely no time to actually kill anything on the table. Yes. So one of the things that happen, and we've all become educated, is if you're not wiping the table down correctly, like let it sit for 10 seconds and then wipe the table. Well, now all you're really doing is moving it from one end of the table to the other end. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we
it's
give
not
this,
funny, but we are
true.
so programmed and unaware. And the power of just capturing your story is, how about the corporations? How many companies, the physical space that goes unoccupied, and the world has moved into the virtual realm, right? And what about that? The impact of companies not being able to operate or closing down and jobs being lost. We talk from a corporation standpoint, keeping people employed.
Great, thank you for that. Yes, so we are working with some very, very large, quite a few large national accounts now on the retail side of the industry. And what they've learned is they spent a lot of money during COVID to keep their stores, one, open, and two, keeping them disinfected. And when we come in, typically this is the response we get. Wow, I wish we would have known about this before. Right, because you've shown us what you've spent to keep your store open, to keep it disinfected, when really we can hand you the solution and you own that solution from now until the end of time. There's no supply chain issues. You're not placing an order and you're waiting for 2 55-gallon drums to be of a sanitizing product to be delivered to you, which it's not going to be because everybody else in the country needs the same thing you need. Mm-hmm. No, what you do is you go over to a button, you push it, and as long as you have water and electricity, you're going to make the product you need to make, and it's the safest, strongest product on planet Earth.
This is a game changer.
Yes, it absolutely is. So let's say you're a grocery store, mm-hmm. and you've got and we've all been to the grocery store. And you have these hand sanitizing stations set up at the counter, and they're all using the same product, which isn't healthy for you at all. Now you switch over to electrolyzed water, and you can brand on that. You can when the customer picks it up to spray their hands in it, they're like, "Wow, it feels like water." Yeah, it is. And you can brand with that. Put your QR code on it. People are curious. What is this? And you could tell your customers what you're doing to keep them safe. Mm-hmm. And
they'll purchase it,
yes,
which is growing a business.
Yes.
It creates profit. Grow a company, grow opportunities for the business, which equals new jobs. And I jump in there because the Inside Story Hunters is built on this philosophy. It is an ROI machine, a return on investment. How do I help you, my guest, business owner, not just because you're my great friend, but because you are creating products and services that saves lives, you're changing lives, and then you're also turning around and saying, by the way, I'd love for you to make a lot of money because you are doing these great things to keep your people safe and to keep your business safe.
Absolutely.
This is called God's work.
I think so.
Right? You are a man that's on God's payroll, yet the story's not out there at times. And I pray that there's insiders listening that say, is this for real? It's for real.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. So you're bringing up so many things. So right before COVID hit, we were doing a presentation for a group of infectious disease control experts.
That must have been fun.
Well, it was. But the first question we asked was, how many people in the room have heard of hypochlorous acid? Not one.
That's
because we've been so conditioned. We have been so conditioned to say, we're going to use a bleach-based product. We're going to use a quad-based product. And that's what we have to do. And we have to buy it from this manufacturer. And we have to buy it from this company because that's the way we've always done it. And so after we had given our presentation and explained exactly what electrolyzed water is, they were blown away.
Infectious disease experts. Yeah.
Experts, 40 of them in a room. And so that was an aha moment for us. We were like, okay, we can do something with this. We were very surprised, but we could do something with this. We're on a cutting edge of technology now. Although electrolyzed water has been around since World War I to treat field wounds, it has evolved as a product many, many times since then. Mm-hmm. And so the product they used in World War I to treat field wounds is not the same product today. An example would be if I were to treat a computer lab for with the product of old, it would have a heavy salt residue left behind. Mm-hmm. That's gone. It's It's still just as strong as it's ever been, but now the salt residue is completely gone. So we have treated computer labs, many computer labs, and it's completely safe for electronics, and you can treat any room. When we talk to assisted care,
Assisted care meaning like senior living, hospice, you name it, right?
So going into senior living and hospice, what they like about it is it's so safe. So when you're in, and I've learned a lot. So when you're in a senior living and you're in a memory care unit, everything has to be locked up. Everything. If it's in a bottle, if it's something you can drink, it has to be locked up because your customer may pick something up and drink it.
Yeah.
The beauty with electrolyzed water is if an employee were to leave a bottle out on the cart by accident and forget about it, and the customer did pick it up and take a swig out of it, there's no long-term effects from that. I mean, we prefer that you don't do it, but still, if that were to happen, it's not like picking up a bottle of ammonia or a bottle of bleach and drinking that.
Yeah.
Completely different, two different things.
Did you realize what you're talking about are the families and the people that have been disconnected, unable to be in person, to reach over and touch someone?
Very sad.
Their mother, their sister, their family member, not being able to be present for years now.
Yes.
Right? And having, our own personal stories where people have passed away. And then all the precautions, they think all the precautions they're doing with the products and services and masks and so forth. I'm not diminishing that. I'm not, questioning those things. But people still in a nursing home passing away, having COVID, when they could have had your products and services, saved money, kept people working, kept the residents safe, and family members connected.
Absolutely.
We have to get the word out there.
Absolutely. We've talked to misting station companies and I can see a day where it's already happening in other countries, but I can see a day where, let's say you are an assisted care company, and you could set up a misting station where people can walk through this, and as they're coming into, let's say, a clinic, a hospital, even schools, it doesn't really matter because this product is so safe. You could walk through a misting station with this product. Anything that's on you is now dead. And so going back to nursing homes, we did have an opportunity to work with the nursing home we're very proud of here locally, and they did have an outbreak, and we told them just start spraying, just start fogging, walk the hallways and fog. It doesn't matter if there's people in the hallways. Fog. Don't stop fogging, and they had that outbreak under control in 2 days. Now that right there is powerful.
Yes.
That you can do something like that, and you can go into a room and you can fog that room with people standing in there. Everybody is 100%. In fact, they're safer now, and so that touched me because, man, we are making a difference. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no doubt about that. Electrolyzed water is a very, very powerful product, very safe product, and schools and I know we've touched on this, but to be able to put the control back into consumers' hands, we have a system that's meant for your home, very affordable.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so
I didn't realize you had touched upon the residential aspect.
Right, and so it looks like a coffee pot, and it takes 13 minutes. You push a button, you fill it up with water, you put in our activating solution. 13 minutes later, you've made the strongest, safest sanitizer on planet Earth.
How can we order one? Could someone just listen to this podcast and say, Matt Martin, we can reach you at matt.martin at BluCities, no E and with an S, BluCities.com. Matt.martin at BluCities.com.
Right.
And I could order one.
Absolutely. And we sell a lot of them. It's a very, very simple, easy product to use. I have a school in East Nashville that the maintenance director, he probably calls me once a week and gives me an update on things that he's using electrolyzed water for. He now puts it in his humidifier. And he said, Matt, I have serious allergy problems. They're gone.
Wow.
He puts a little bit of electrolyzed water in his what do you call it in your toothbrush that does the
and it will,
like a flosser,
yes.
where it shoots out water. Excuse me,
the
but
dispensers.
so he puts it in there. He's big into rafting and canoeing, and he says, Matt, my shoes, I can never get them clean. I soak them in electrolyzed water. So he's always calling me and telling me new things. But what's really exciting about that with that particular school is how much money we're saving them also. We're saving them so much money that now this is a major budget issue that they can look at every year and say, wow, this money is now back on the books.
So we're ear, nose, and throat specialist, the walk-in clinics, schools, corporations, restaurants, retail stores, you name it. The assisted living, senior living, hospice. I mean, I haven't heard an environment yet they said, oh, it won't work there.
Right. We're pretty excited about all of the opportunities that are in front of us. We're very excited about the opportunities we've had to help change people's lives. Again, I go back to, cleaning companies, the money that we can save cleaning companies also. So there's a lot of really neat things out there.
And if somebody had a cleaning company and they wanted to expand their revenue streams,
absolutely,
they're in that. They reach out to you.
Listen, these cleaning companies,
help them brand the products.
Absolutely. So cleaning companies can put their own brand on it. When you talk to anybody who's buying chemicals, and they say, I'll use an example of a really large retail store that we're working with. When you can brand your own, when you can make something in the back and brand it and turn around and put it on the shelf in the front and sell it, oh my goodness.
Right.
It's a big deal. And you talked
about the distribution is removed,
right.
The delay, the cost, the middleman, the middlewoman.
That's right.
All of it. I mean, it's a business opportunity. It saves lives. It changes lives. The products are safe. And you're a great guy.
Well, thank you for that.
I mean, it's really, every time we get an opportunity to connect or we've done introductions for you and people meet you, what I usually hear back is this for real? And it's just, we're so brainwashed. And I'm included in this. We're so brainwashed that we should do these certain steps. The hand sanitizer when I walk into places.
Right.
I mean, and it's really, it's marketing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like saying there's a fat-free salad dressing that's super healthy for you, right? Then you get a little more educated and you're like, why am I doing that? So.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. And you're not the only one. Now, trust me, we run into this daily. We're like, I had no idea. So we've also created, BluCities has also created a board of advisors, which we're very proud of. We have some medical professionals on the board of advisors for BluCities that before we do anything, we put it to our board, we get their blessing on it, and really glad that we have put that in place. Not only because it gives more BluCities credibility, but it's really important to have the medical industry buy into this.
Yes.
And so not only have they bought into it at the FDA and EPA level, but they've bought into it through BluCities also. And I'm very proud of our board of advisors. I'm really proud of the medical people on our board. They do great work for us. They're huge advocates for us, but it's not by accident. We are committed to picking out the best, safest products for our consumers to use, whether it's a home or business, it doesn't matter. And we're going to show those businesses not only are using the safest products on planet Earth, but we're going to show you how to save a lot of money also and keep your employees safer. There's a study out that I like to share. There was a study that was put together in the cleaning industry for somebody that was in the cleaning industry. Let's say that your job is you're going to clean hotels, right? Mm-hmm. And you go in every day and you're using quads and you're using ammonias and you're using bleaches. It's as equal to smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Oh my God.
So now let's talk about your Cushman Wakefield, your Lincoln Properties, your public school. It doesn't matter. And you have this type of system set up for your business. You have this type of system where your janitorial staff is using these outdated, old products that are completely useless when you compare them to some things that are like electrolyzed water that is so incredibly safe and does the job much, much better. Listen, when we're 80 to 200 times stronger than bleach and we kill COVID in 4 seconds and it's safe to spray in your ears, nose, and mouth, we're not making that up.
Right.
I mean, BluCities can't say that, but the federal government, the FDA, they've come out and said that.
Right.
So now how cool is that? So changing
it makes me
people's-
want to go off on a tangent, which won't be positive, because of all of the time and energy in the
Yes.
media that we focus on, not solutions, we focus on the facts of death. We focus on the loss of jobs. We focus on these tragedies, and we are driving home the negativity of what this pandemic, COVID-19, is doing to our world. And yet I'm sitting next to this man named Matt Martin from BluCities Environmental and Health Services, who's out there saying, we've got what you need.
Yes.
And it's not, and you're not coming from a place of, I want to grow my company and make so much money because I have the best pizza in the whole wide world. You're saying, please let me help you. Please let me help you stay employed and your companies prosper and people are safe. We want to keep you safe. We want our generations to thrive. We want people to be healthy.
Yes.
How
Absolutely.
can we not help put the voice to it? And I just pray that the insiders, you were mentioning big names on commercial real estate companies. I want to clarify, like a Cushman Wakefield. You know, we're talking Nashville. But our audience we're hitting people globally now in our 90 days of the Inside Story hunters. It's actually more
How
than
awesome is that?
right? But I'm sitting next to you saying, just tell the story, unveil it, so that if we reach one business, one school, one nursing home, one doctor, one allergy specialist. I didn't even know that, but because it immediately makes me think of some connections that we need to make for you. But Matt, it's tremendous.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of you because there's a lot of folks who know you now. I happen to be one of the people who knew you then, and it's only been a few years ago.
Right.
And that's where my heart just melts from a place of these inside stories of just this guy walking down the street who lives in Nashville that you just don't know that the inside story that lives within you. And you've been brave. And you
Yeah,
just
thank
kept
you.
going.
Yes.
You never
Yes.
quit.
I never have quit, and listen, I'm human. There's days I did want to quit, but then I was like, well, you know what? You still have a daughter in college,
Yeah.
Matt. You still have rent to pay, and you still have obligations, and you've got another daughter that's soon to be. Well, today's not the day you quit,
Yeah.
so you get up, and you.
Let's talk about Savannah, please.
Okay.
Let's talk about your daughter.
My daughters.
Talk about the hardship, but what is it as the gift that resulted because you stayed the course? When most parents would have said, I've got to do something else because there was a detour in your daughter's college education.
Yes.
That is definitely going to blossom into one heck of a career.
Yes.
Tell the story.
Oh, well, you're so sweet. Thank you.
No, it's a great story. Tell it.
Well, so my daughter Savannah graduated from Ravenwood High School, and she had a great. She was great. She's 6'2". She's
Gorgeous.
beautiful, just strong, can leap, jump. She's great at volleyball. Well, she blew out both her knees and playing volleyball, and she came to me one day and she's like, I just don't feel comfortable doing volleyball anymore. I could see it. She'd lost her confidence, so she got into crew, and she just blew up doing crew. She's so strong.
Can you explain crew? Because I didn't know what it was till you.
Rowing. So sculling is you're in a boat by yourself rowing, and crew is there's multiple. So she started doing crew, and she joined Nashville Rowing Club, and just blossomed. I mean, really took off with it. And I'm sitting, in the house, and she comes out of her room, and I was like, well, who is she's in high school. She said, well, that was Ohio State. I'm like, Ohio State called you? She said, yeah, they got my crew numbers. Because it's like track and field. The coaches post them, the college coaches go look at them, so I'm getting an education. And next week it's Rutgers, then the next week it's Syracuse. And I'm like, wow, this is really something special. And, you're always proud of your kids, but when, those are pretty good schools that were calling her. So I made the mistake of showing her, I grew up in Tampa. I made the mistake one time when we were in Tampa showing her the University of Tampa.
That's a dad talking because you wanted her to stay right in the home
I did,
and not leave Tennessee.
Right. And so she fell in love with the University of Tampa. They have a crew team, and that was it. That's where she was going. She was determined to go there. So we got her. We got her at the University of Tampa again. She took off, great grades, just absolutely, did wonders with their crew team, and then we had to pull her out, and
because of finances.
Right, and
that's
so
okay that we.
Oh yeah,
right. You're a business owner struggling, right?
And so she comes back home, and I was like, well, we're going to redo this, and we're going to get it done. We've hit a glitch. This is called life, and this is a lesson that unfortunately we're both learning right now, but we're going to get through it. So
one of your relationships.
Oh, I will tell you, she was working at the Heritage, and I love the Heritage. They're an assisted care company, and one of my connections, Michelle Lee, I just adore Michelle Lee, and I met with her, and she brought on e-water for her business. She brought on electrolyzed water for her business. After I told her all about it and the benefits of it, we met. She understood it. She bought into it immediately to disinfect her office. And I sent her an email that night. I said, hey, I'd like you to take a look at my daughter. I know you're opening up COVID testing. And I gave a little background.
And you trusted your daughter to be working in COVID-19 centers.
At the height of COVID.
Unbelievable.
I mean, at the height of it. And so Michelle said, absolutely, let me interview her. And Savannah came in to the business knowing absolutely nothing, and a puppy. And Savannah's a sponge, as Michelle likes to call her. She's just a big sponge. She's a big sponge. And Savannah immediately started picking up on things. So long story short, Savannah now runs the COVID testing center.
Back in school.
Back in school. She's going back to school. Grades are right where her dad would like her grades to be. I'm so proud of her. And she's taking over that side of the business for Michelle Lee, and I just couldn't be more proud of her.
And she's going to graduate with a nursing degree and come back and continue to run a company, if not potentially be an owner. And the relationships, I mean, I'm stealing your joy.
Oh, no, you're not.
But it gets me so darn excited because as a parent, we think, oh, we failed. I own a company, and, I wasn't able to provide my boys, the 14, fabulous vehicles and the things and the big home and the whatever. But as a result of it, look at the gifts you gave her and empowered her to build her resume, her ability to run. How old is she?
She's 21.
21. And so we're talking a couple of years ago, to your point, she's a puppy.
Yeah.
But she's got a career ahead of her. And she's an entrepreneur spirit, and she has people who would just back her in a heartbeat if she said she was ready to step back out of college.
Oh, yes. Yes. And the cool part is Michelle, she's expanding her business into some different verticals that I think are going to be amazing. And Savannah's going to be a part of that also. As
a result of you, Michelle, you introduced me, AMG Ketamine and Wellness Center. We have 3 episodes connected to our Inside Story Hunters, and we are very, very connected to them today. And this ketamine treatments that is changing lives, and it's like your products, where people don't realize, just because the FDA hasn't approved, it's been around for 70 years. It's a hallucinogenic a product that they've been using in surgeries and to help people that literally will erase your mind and help reprogram those that are with chronic traumas and illnesses and pain and whatever. And it was a result of you, again, being brave and amazing people like Michelle. And she's an infectious disease specialist. Her part of her story is that she helped build and launch the Vanderbilt infectious disease division. I don't know how many years ago. I'm going to say 30. Forgive me for quoting the wrong number. But it's because you were brave, you have relationships, you look to help people no matter what. And your family is going to just, it's a game changer.
Yeah, it really is.
And that word is just not enough. I just say thank you for being, working with me on God's payroll. It's hard work.
Yeah.
But
it's
we
fun.
love it.
It's fun. And there's ebbs and flows. There's, it's a roller coaster. We sure appreciate the highs, but we sure understand the lows. And the lows aren't forever. Mm-hmm. The lows are temporary, just like the highs are. Mm-hmm. So when you're peaking, enjoy it, smile a lot, and when you're in your lows, dig through like you've always done.
I think you were one of the people that somewhere along the way said when we're in the lows, you're like, so just do your homework.
Yeah.
I mean, because the lows just usually means I'm just sitting, instead of wallowing and focusing on the difficulties, it's research, educate. This is what you did. You started eating this up literally like vitamins to get more and more aware of what else can the product do. Do you need to detour? You've looked at other businesses.
Yes.
You brought in a partner.
Yes.
What's that been like?
It's been great. I'm super proud to have Chris Foley on board. Chris's background is top notch. I like to brag on Chris and what he does and what he's brought to the company. Chris is somebody I can depend on, and that gives me a sense of security. And he's also a sounding board. He has to listen to me, unfortunately, sometimes. But Chris and I have the same vision.
And you grow the company and have a partner to walk with.
Absolutely.
And you're a success story because it's not easy. It's a marriage.
Oh yeah. It sure is.
Yeah.
It's a marriage. And then having Chris there is amazing. He gives me some inside baseball, right? Mm-hmm. So Chris was the CFO for the state of Tennessee of Department of Education. Well, that's pretty cool to have that guy on board with you, right?
Yeah, right.
And then you look at my board of advisors and you say, you know what, we're doing some pretty cool things. And what's most exciting about it now is there's some people, there's some really neat things happening, and there's some people that are starting to see it. Mm-hmm. And they didn't see it 4.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. That wasn't happening 4.5 years ago. But like we've talked about, staying the course and getting up and dusting yourself off. And there's, I tell my daughters all the time, and I'm sure you've heard of this, and so many of your listeners have also. There's not a section in the library that says how to be down on yourself. On how to beat yourself up. There's no section in the library.
I don't know. I don't want to know because I do a great job.
Right.
Yeah.
As human beings, we're experts at it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of books in that self-help aisle. Mm-hmm. And we all need that. We all need like what you do. Mm-hmm. So I look at this opportunity with you, and we were talking before we got started, and we're just talking like two good friends that we are.
Yeah.
And you've always built, and I'll tell your listeners this, Lori has always built me up. Aww. Always. And that is your gift from God. You are the connector. And you've been turned around and been blessed also.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's true. That's why we're sitting here doing this with headphones on, and technology is not something you would ever connect me to. But we get started today just to prep, and I'm like, I'm crazy addicted to this. I love it.
Yeah, and you've done so well with this, and what I like is you just like everybody else, right?
Just me.
You just.
Yeah.
And now you've started this, and it's amazing.
Think of the power, and it's not me. It's really God. He's just provided me. I've quit my business many times, and someone told me just recently in this year, they're like, it's so exciting when you get to quit your business for like an hour a day. Just don't make it too long. Don't go like more than 24 hours or 48, whatever it is. But the freedom to say, I quit. Because it's just what we're saying. I quit focusing on the things that aren't working, I'm going to find something new. And so, not to keep focusing on quitting, because there's no, forget about can't. I always tell my kids, we're ordinary people that do extraordinary things. We will do when others will not do.
Right.
And that's what you've done. So it's kind of you to say, I'm a connector. I am. Because somewhere in there, God created this story within me, and I just keep labeling it as inside story that says, if you really knew who I am, if you knew the journey I've been on, and you saw the reasons why I'm fueled like a locomotive when it comes to when I see an opportunity that Matt needs to know Tiffany or, whatever that is, you can't stop me, because it is it's an awareness that I have been given that I know I'm responsible to do something with it.
Right.
A gift is a really kind word. What it really is just, I say God speaks through me. He uses me as a vessel to turn around and say, Matt, you got to be on the podcast, be my guest. And I don't have to twist your arm. I don't have to twist any of my guests' arms.
Right.
But may my team continue to be blessed and honored, and we keep finding great new people that will see the stories in a very unique way. Where the podcast goes in the future, I don't know. But gosh darn it, the fact that I get to sit with you 4.5 years ago, if you said to me, Lori, you'll be able to give Matt a gift and just say, thanks for being my friend. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for having products and services that will save lives and change lives, and that you could take this video or you could connect to the podcast, and we might just have one school that operates more effectively, or a nursing home, or whatever.
Right.
Is that
Absolutely.
unbelievable?
It is. It truly is. And you've built the inside story to what we're seeing today. And that was a journey.
Well, right. And, we don't want to switch gears because, I'll start crying. You've had to drink with me,
Yep.
cry with me,
Yep.
hold my hand and say, don't quit, right? I would say in our friendship, thank God we never matched it on the same day, that we never arrived and had time together where we're both like,
Good point.
Screw this, we're out of here, we're quitting. There was always, you were on a high, I was on a low. I was on a high, you were on a low. So may our friendship always be that, beautiful seesaw, and that I'm excited to see, where are you going in 2022?
So 2022, I think, is like, I was talking to Chris about it, and 2022 to me is just amazing at what lies ahead. I am so excited for what lies ahead for 2022. It's nice when your phone rings and people call you who know nothing about you, but they know about your business and what you've done for other people.
Yes.
And that hasn't happened before. It's happening now. And as a business owner, I am so grateful. And it's not it's moms and dads, it's small businesses, but it's also really, really big businesses also.
Like that call. You're
Yes.
on your knees and you're praying.
Right.
And 2 days later, a national chain's reaching out, and then
Yes.
they ask you if you'd like to grow with them.
Yes.
And I laughed hysterically in this interview because, I would have used Jersey language and been like, are you, God only
Jersey
knows,
language.
right? That's it. But,
Yeah.
here's the question I ask every guest, and it's from a place of, how are you going to be remembered? May you live to be 300 years old. But in reality, the legacy of this company, the future of it, you, Matt, how are you leaving your footprint and your legacy when your time comes that you're physically not with us?
Wow. Well, first of all, I'm just gonna go right back to my daughters, right? I mean, they're my everything. I mean, my daughters are my everything. My business is awesome, but my daughters are my everything. And if I can be the best dad, I could say this: if I can continue to be the best dad I can be, and help guide my daughters into where maybe they're not taking some of the lumps I had to take because of silly decisions on my part, and maybe I can guide them a little bit. Man, what I'm all in on that. And the good news is, I think it's working.
It is.
I think it's working. I look at my girls.
I'm going to give you permission to say you kick butt. You are making magic happen.
I appreciate that. I do, and I look at I have some conversations with Savannah that I know it's working, and I have conversations with my youngest daughter Scarlett, who is my everything, and she blows me away with some of the conversations we have, and I'm like, man. Okay, Matt, where were you when you were 18 years old?
Right.
What were you doing? And they're so far ahead of where I was. And it makes me so proud, and it gives me a sense of calm and peace that they're doing so well. And Scarlett's going to do some amazing things with her life that she has not yet discovered that I think are going to be very, very cool.
I'm so grateful that you're my friend. I'm grateful for the opportunity for us to unveil just a small piece of your inside story. May your company, because you're on God's payroll, continue to explode and blossom, because there are lots of folks like me who want to be safe, healthy, happy, and we want to serve God and serve others really well. And I'll just say, just rock on with your bad self, because you're amazing. You're really, really cool. And, and I'm not going to let you cry, because I'm watching you right now, and we don't do it. So I would just say, your daughters are so fortunate to have you as a father, and that you are a friend first. And may you never lose that as a business owner. May it never taint you in a way as your company's continuing to grow, that you'll always just be Matt Martin, who loves baseball and loves to laugh, and a fellow Dirty Martini fan.
Oh, yes.
And all these good things. So anyway, just thanks for being here today on the Inside Story Hunters. And as we wrap up, is there anything you'd love to just say to the insiders before we say, take good care, bye for now?
I would say, if you have an opportunity to sit down with Lori with a story, you need to do it. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I know it's coming your way. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So thank you for this opportunity. And I look forward to the next one.
I thank you.
Thank you.
All right, insiders, bye for now.